The bike businesses recently got a 25% money boost, which actually was permanent. This was first introduced to the next-gen consoles, such as the Xbox Series X and the PS5. However, in a recent update, the 25% increase was released on all platforms. Therefore, I think it's time for me to make a guide on the MC businesses in 2022. But before we get into the video, if you watch content like this quite often, this being tutorials, guides, tips and tricks on GTA, then I suggest subscribing to the channel for more content like this. I'm trying to post weekly. I got a lot of work right now, so it's a bit hard, but I'm trying to post weekly. You will get a weekly tutorial or guide on something in the game. If you're with me here and trying to get better, if you do that, you are amazing. Anyway, getting back into the video. As I always say, when you're starting a new business in GTA Online, you of course have to buy the business. To actually buy one of the MC businesses, you have to buy a MC Clubhouse to then buy the MC businesses. And buying MC Clubhouse is really easy. Just go on the Maze Bank Foreclosure's website and there go and list it after MC Clubhouses and then choose the Great Chaparral Clubhouse. This is the cheapest one, and the location of this clubhouse does not matter in any way, since you will ever only use this clubhouse to buy other MC businesses. A big bonus with this clubhouse too is that it's also free if you have the premium edition of GTA 5, which if you got this game on PC and you got it when Epic Games had it for free, you would get the premium version of this game. So check if it's free for you. If it's not too bad. It's only about 200,000 or so. Okay then, now you bought your brand new clubhouse up in the States. So let's go into the clubhouse and access the computer in your office. This is where you will buy new MC businesses that you'll buy in the future. This website is called The Open Road, and this computer in the MC Clubhouse is the only place you can access this Open Road website. There are 5 different businesses you can buy on the Open Road website. These are the Cocaine Lockup, the Meth Lab, the Counterfeit Cash Factory, the Weed Farm, and the Document Forgery. I recommend to buy the Cocaine Lockup, the Meth Lab, and the Counterfeit Cash Factory. You don't have to buy all these at the same time if you don't have the money for it. However, the first one you want to buy is the Cocaine Lockup. The Weed Farm and the Document Forgery is not really worth it in my opinion, even after the buff to them. They still don't offer too high of a profit margin, and it takes quite a lot of hours to earn back the money you used to buy them. Not even thinking about the upgrades you need to buy for them to then get that money back and be profitable. Therefore, for the rest of the guide, I will only be talking about the 3 other businesses that I mentioned earlier. That being Cocaine Lockup, the Meth Lab, and the Counterfeit Cash Factory. In terms of which location you want to buy for each of these 3 businesses, then I recommend to just buy the cheapest one. All the cheap locations are good, and a bonus is that they are close together, so it would be easy for you to resupply all your biker businesses. When you've bought one of your businesses, you will now have a little startup mission for each one of your businesses. These startup missions are really easy and should not take up that much time. Usually you just have to find a car and then just drive it back to your business and you'll be done. After this, your staff and production has begun. The first thing I want to talk about in this business, and this is really important, so we start on an important note here, and that is upgrades. There are 3 different upgrades you can buy for each one of the MC businesses. These are the equipment upgrade, the staff upgrade, and the security upgrade. The ones out of these that actually get you any money on investment is the equipment and staff upgrade. Do not bother with the security upgrade. It can help you against raids, but it's not required at all. The equipment upgrade and staff upgrade is though. This you need. Both the equipment upgrade and staff upgrade will in some way improve your business, either with speeding up production or increasing the value. You want to get both of these somewhere down the line for all your businesses. However, this could take a while since it's quite expensive to buy both upgrades for each one of your businesses. These 2 upgrades added up together will vary in cost a little bit. This is depending on which business you're buying upgrades for, but you will never really go over 1.43 million, which is quite a lot. But this you will earn back very quickly with every one of these businesses that I'm talking about. And if you don't trust me, trust this chart instead, because here is a chart over all the businesses' revenue with or without upgrade. Note, I could not find a chart with the updated numbers after the buff, so these numbers you see on screen is technically wrong. However, you can calculate this easily by taking whatever number you want from the chart here and then take 25% of that and add it on top. An example is 25% of $420,000. $420,000 is selling cocaine to the furthest buyer with 2 upgrades. And 25% of 420,000 is $105,000. $420,000 plus the 25% money boost is then $105,000 equals $525,000. So just find out how much 25% is of that number, search it up on Google, 25% of 420,000, and then just add it on top of that price. Then you will get the new price or the new sell revenue for each business. By the way, thanks to GTA series videos for making this awesome chart. It helps a lot of people. Production time is also decreased for the different businesses. If you have both the upgrades in the Cocaine Lockup, the production time goes all the way down to only 5 hours. If you have both the upgrades in the Meth Lab, the production time goes down to 6 hours. And if you have both the upgrades in the Counterfeit Cash factory, the production time goes down to 5 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, so that was the upgrades, but we're not really making money yet, are we? We need supplies for our business so we can actually make something. This is where resupplying comes in. On the resupplying side of things, if you look in the bottom right corner of your screen when you're inside one of your MC businesses, then you will see 3 different bars that represents different things. The supplies bar shows you how much supplies you have to produce product with, or also called stock. And the product bar is of course the stock that your staff has made with the supplies. So if you have no supplies, you can't produce any product, and without any product, you can't sell anything, and that just results in no money for you. The last bar is the value bar. This just shows you how much your product is currently worth. For resupplying the business, I always recommend to people that they buy supplies. Before the buff to these businesses, you would actually lose money if you bought supplies in the beginning without any upgrades. But now, with the 25% increase in revenue, you will profit every time. When you're looking at this resupplying page, you will see 2 options on how to resupply. The first one is buying supplies, which will cost you $75,000 for a full batch of supplies. And the other one is stealing supplies, which will cost you nothing, but stealing supplies takes 3 goes. You need to do it 3 times to fully fill up the supplies bar, and you will use a lot of time doing this. So instead of stealing supplies, which take up a lot of your time, you should instead just buy supplies and then go over to another activity where you will be earning more money actively. For example, the VIP missions or another business like the crates. One thing with buying supplies though is that they cost $75,000 for a full batch of supplies, which is not cheap at all. But this money you will earn back when you're doing something else when the businesses are producing. Because remember, these businesses are passive income. When you buy a supply batch of $75,000, it will fully fill up your supplies bar. It will then take 2.5 hours for the supplies to run out. And out of this, you will get 1.5 bar of stock in your product bar. This means you will have to buy 3 full bars of supplies to fill up the product bar fully. In total, buying supplies, this would cost you $250,000. But if you remember the chart I showed earlier, and you apply the 25% increase to the business or the number you're working with, the Cocaine Lockup, the Meth Lab, and the Counterfeit Cash factory are all in profit even though you are buying supplies. If you have one or both the upgrades, you will have even more profits. Alright, now, let's say you waited for a few hours and now you've filled up your business quite a lot. You now want to go on to selling. For selling your different businesses, I strongly recommend to try and get some friends together and sell your business that way, especially if you want to fill the business fully up to the max it can, because if you fill something like the cocaine business up to its max capacity, you will not be able to sell it solo. You would have to be really lucky with the mission to be able to sell it solo. Anyway, selling with your friends will be way easier and you can actually fill the whole business up that way. But I know many people don't have any friends that play the game and have to do it solo. I want you to not do my mistake that I did when I was playing on Xbox, and I was just filling up the business to basically its max capacity and then trying to sell it solo. That's just, sorry, but that's just stupid. You will basically never get it and you will waste a lot of your product trying to sell it. So the correct way if you want to sell solo every time is to just never fill your business up more than half of the product bar. This way you will only get 2 or less vehicles, which is way easier to sell solo. This will basically manage every time, besides if you get emissions such as the post-op vans, then you will maybe have to do another mission. If you're that unlucky that you get a really bad mission and you want to do another mission, you can just go into your post menu and then find a new session. This will stop the sell mission and put you into a new session. You will lose a bit of your product, but this is nothing major, and if you have to do this to either save you from some griefers or changing the mission type, then it's worth changing session. If you had a keen eye when we were looking at the sell screen, you would see that there are 2 selling options. One is selling to Blaine County and the other is selling to Los Santos. You always want to sell to the one that is furthest away. Most of the time this will be Los Santos, because this will give you a lot more money than selling to Blaine County. This depends on if you have bought an MC business in the city or up in the desert. If you bought one in the city, the long distance sale will of course be up in Blaine County, and if you've bought one up in Blaine County, the long distance will be in the city or Los Santos. But just choose the one that gives you the most money. Usually that's the bottom option, so just choose what gives you most money. Another little bonus thing that's worth mentioning is that you get a 1% bonus increase to revenue per player in session at the time of selling. For example, if you're selling a full Cocaine Lockup, that is $525,000 after the 25% money increase. If you then were in a full session with 30 players, you would get a 1% bonus per player. That would then be a 30% money increase to the 525,000, because you get 1% per player, so 30 players, 30%. And if you were to add that on top of the already 525,000, that would then give you $682,500, which is a pretty hefty money boost. But keep in mind, more players equals higher chance to get briefed. Okay, so to end this video, I just want to add a small addition in here, and that is that your businesses can get raided. This means that all your stock and staff is on the line of being taken, and you will lose everything. I mean absolutely everything. This is where the security upgrade could be somewhat useful. It prolongs the time where you get raided, but it does not remove the raids. So this upgrade is basically useless, especially since you can just leave being a MC president and you can't get raided that way. The only times your MC businesses can get raided is if you are registered as a MC president. So after each time you've done something with a business, just leave being an MC president and you can't get raided. In addition to that as well, if you don't want to do a raid mission, you can just close the game and you will keep your product and everything. Don't change session though, because that will make you lose everything as normal. So you do have to close the game completely, X out of it, everything closed. In general, raids are not that big of a problem, and make sure to not buy the security upgrade, because that's useless unless you got millions and millions of dollars then you can buy it just for fun. That about sums the video up, really. This has been the ultimate guide to the MC businesses and how to run them as profitable as possible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this awesome guide. And if so, go downstairs and throw that like button into the wall so it turns blue. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. I think this video got pretty long because I've been recording for 30 minutes now. So I'm sorry for that, but I needed to get all this information out to you guys so you know everything about the business. So yeah. Anyway, in my next video, I will probably be going through the nightclub business, so look out for that. If it's already out, it's the video on the right. And if not, I reckon the video on the left will do just fine.